Hello and welcome to Best Sips Worldwide. I'm your drinking companion, Susan Schwartz, an American travel writer living in London. Thanks to my mother's love of martinis, the first words I spoke were shaken, not stirred, and I've been obsessed by the history of cocktails ever since. Through the years, I've been lucky enough to sip some of the best made by the best. Hear that sound? It's time to cozy up to the bar and let me introduce you to the movers and shakers of the world's most famous watering holes. Why aren't we drinking Mastika all the time? Even the Romans were mixing it with wine, cardamom, and egg to create the first flip. George Economides, the co-founder of Mastika World and our guest today, explains what it is exactly and how it's finally making a comeback after all these years.
Well, Mastiha is the natural racing of a tree that only grows in half an island in the whole world, only the southern part of the Greek island of Chios. It has a history that spans 25 centuries, all the way back to ancient Greece, where the physicians used it as a digestive, and it is a fact that the ancient Greek warriors used to chew it and put it on the wounds after battle. So this ritter sap, which was one of the original spices found in frankincense, has amazing history behind it. The Roman emperors used it in the first cocktails. Byzantine emperors made the monopoly. The Ottoman sultans confiscated the first kentos, which is the harvesting process, only for the harem. And when the Greeks tried to rebel against the sultans, 75% of the island was slaughtered overnight.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the massacre of Chios. Byron wrote about it, Delacroix made paintings about it. And all that history and folklore is sustained in just 24 villages called the Mastiha villages, where the people literally live the year according to the Mastiha harvest. They clean the trees in the winter, so the harvest will become easier. And during the summer, they go and they collect the sap. So what they do is they carry very fine argile white sand from a different part of the island. They lay it underneath the tree, and with something that resembles a homemade screwdriver, they make cuts on the trunk and the branch of the tree. It has a whole way how they make the cuts, what distance between them, and from that, the sap comes out, falls into the ground, crystallizes. They pick it by hand, and they have a 5-stage cleaning process, everything manually. That goes back 25 centuries worth.
So it literally drips onto the ground and crystallizes? So it's not like maple syrup where they hang the buckets, on the trees. This literally falls down. Do birds not like it, or
no? And
anyone
it's quite
else?
sticky.
All right.
And it's interesting because the official name of Mastiha tree is Pistacia rediscus varkia, the variety of Chios, because other pistacia, it's related to pistachio, rediscus trees can be found throughout the Mediterranean. But that can be found in many places across the Mediterranean. But in southern Chios, it's the only place that the sap naturally crystallizes and produces the essential oil that they can then use to...
So that's why it's only on one island.
Exactly.
It's only there. So it's really, really special. But it has been imbibed, I guess, all throughout Greece.
Indeed. And, well, ever since the Romans mixed it with wine, cardamom, and egg to make the first cocktails, people used to put it as a spice in food and drink. And now it's one of the most popular ingredients in the Greek cocktail scene.
Fantastic. And it's slowly coming over here, thanks to Mastika World.
Thank you very much. We definitely try. I mean, we have been promoting it for 2 years now. We're doing various trade shows, such as Invite Trade Show. We have been organizing the first ever Mastiha competition outside of Greece, which was in Gordon Ramsay's Bread Street Kitchen last month. And we had a phenomenal amount of entries. And you can really see that in the media, because Bar Magazine wrote a special about it, Imbibe, Square Mirror. A lot of people show interest in something so natural, so unique, and something that is very versatile as well.
I guess it's that, when you find something that's been around for ages but you didn't know about it, you feel finally you've been let in on the secret.
Exactly.
And I wonder why it kind of disappeared from our culture, from the outside of Greece culture, should I say, for so long, considering it was so important in the ancient world.
Indeed, and part of that has to do with the fact that it's so exclusive, that actually it was a very rare product. We have a plethora of texts from medicine, from cooking, going all the way back to the first Navy museum that's actually in London. But because it wasn't a mass-produced thing, it wasn't as well known as ouzo.
Right, of course.
And that is why the word Mastiha was missing from the dictionary for a long time, and that's what we're trying to do now, get it back in.
Now, we have to talk about you and how you began the Mastika world, because from my research, I see that you have a DPhil, which is like a PhD in the US in advanced quantum mechanics, and you also are a dancer.
Yes,
You have to tell me about both of those and how this background led you to the world of Mastika.
it's an interesting story. So I did my studies at Oxford. I followed through, studied as a chemist, physical chemist, master, and DPhil, and after doing as fundamental research as we could do in chemistry and finding new formulas and everything, on the background, it's almost like a movie, you could see Greece not doing so well at that time. And a lot of prejudice, a lot of misconceptions about Greece and Greek products. Now, myself, I am Greek. I've been going to Chios since a very early age. My grandmother is from Chios. We actually have some Mastiha trees. And I felt uneasy with the way that Greece was portrayed. So I wanted to A, help the country by exports, B, help promote something outstanding out of Greece. And it just so happened that I was organizing my best friend's stag party.
Now here it comes. Now the truth comes out.
And in that, we were going through Mastiha by the liter. So the penny dropped. I was about to go to a big corporation to work there. And I said, this is the right time to take a chance and go into an industry that I've grown to love so much and get the most original Mastiha, the one made on the islands by the cooperation of the local growers. So that is something that makes us stand aside. Everything is bottled on the island, and the owner of the bottle is actually part of it belongs to the growers that harvest the Mastiha.
That's wonderful.
So it's directly embodying both the microclimate from the water being local and all that, but also the history behind it.
Now back to the stag party for a second.
Of course, I wasn't going to escape that easy.
So, is this something that you drink at stag parties? Does Mastika have a reputation for stag parties?
Mastiha shots, cold, in the hot Greek summer, are delicious. But, to specify, I calculated that it was equal amount of expense to do a stag night in London.
Okay, this is where the chemist and the Oxford professor comes out. Go ahead. So equal parts.
To a stag week in Sifnos, in this case. And so it wasn't so much of a crazy drinking stag party, it was more of a continuous vacation for a group of friends for a big celebration. And I've always been of the opinion not to drink quantity, but quality. So even the stag party, we always went for something that gave us an experience in drinking rather than a hangover. So that's how it fit in.
And
still we went through liters.
I had never had Mastika before. I guess the first time I went to Cyprus, maybe 8 years ago, where it was in ice cream and chewing gum and those kind of things. And then when we were in Greece, it was served almost at every single restaurant gratis after your meal. And I thought, why aren't we drinking this? And that was the first time I bought a bottle in duty free, took it home with me and started to serve it. And everyone loved it at dinner parties. We would go through bottles. No one would really be hungover, but people were like, what is this? Where did it come from? How do I get some? And give me some more. So it's definitely a taste which is different, but people love it. It's very hard to describe it. I mean, how would you describe the taste of Mastika?
That is actually one of the biggest challenges and selling points of Mastiha together. My girlfriend, she's short French lady who would actually stop people in trade shows, and huge hipsters with big moustaches and tattoos say, I bet you cannot tell me what this tastes like, because it's so rare to find a unique natural taste these days. We feel like we've explored the earth. So people try to resemble it to other things, and I've heard celery, cucumber, pine, a lot of things. But that is the first reaction people have before they can assign themselves. It's like Superman. Is it an airplane? What is it?
Well, I feel it's like, now it doesn't taste like truffles, but it's the kind of thing like a truffle where it is so hard to describe. It tastes like the earth, but not in a dirty way. But this tastes more like a tree. When you said pine, that really clicks. But it's not pine. It's just some delicious flavor that came out of the earth that we're lucky to collect, I guess.
Thank you very much. And actually, that is also why there are other people trying to mix Mastiha. We want to bring the pure Mastiha because it does have a unique flavor. You can combine it with any of these and at the same time maintain its character. It's very interesting that you mentioned Cyprus area, because as you said, Mastiha is a taste that we have found is very appealing, but people don't know it. And that's where a penny drop in terms of the marketing for us, because of the name Enosis. Enosis by itself means union. So it is the name given to the product because it's the product of the union of Chios. All the people coming together to defend their identity. Of the co-op that has been established in 1938 to defend it, the interest of the local people against the big merchants that were driving down the price and the quality of Mastiha. But that can be quite specific. When I was in Cyprus, the name Enosis meant so much more, because there was the whole Enosis movement of Cyprus with Greece. And that is where we realized that this notion of people coming together to defend their identity can mean so much more than something unique in Chios, but also relatable to everyone.
And positive.
And
can be positive.
Where we want to bring a positive experience to people.
And your other product, why don't you describe that? Because you have two. You have Enosis and?
Kentos.
Kentos.
And Kentos is actually the name of the harvest.
Okay.
Kentos means embroidery. So the way that, if you think of these beautiful embroidered patterns that local women make in the Greek islands, like a scarf with small jewels.
Again, part of the heritage of Greece.
Yes. So they call it the embroidery of the sap falling and crystallizing on the white sand.
Oh, how beautiful.
And that is the whole tradition. So for Kentos, it's the more approachable brand. It's the one that you can find in the Ivy in the Chelsea Garden, in their signature Key Royal. And it is the 20% one, while Enosis is the super fine Mastiha, is the one that we recommend for a bit more complex cocktails. So we wanted to showcase the liqueurs, and to do that we entered the liqueur by itself into competition, but we also wanted to showcase the versatility of them. So Enosis has gotten the Silver Outstanding Award International Wine Spirit Competition, while Kentos the Bronze Award International Spirit Challenge, which practically means that they are very high quality liquids. But in order to get them in cocktails, we also entered recipes from our brand ambassadors into the National Cocktail Challenge. And thankfully, we won awards in every single category.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we got for aperitif, silver, long drink bronze, and digestive bronze. And for me, the main point there is that good bartenders, and thankfully in England there are so many outstanding bartenders, can actually use it in every single category to create something for the customers. At the same time, Mastiha Award itself, we've been selected by Lord Greece Foundation as one of the top 6 Greek startups.
Fabulous, which was your intention all along when you started it?
While we were also selected by the Hellenic Initiative as one of the top 15 Greek startups, and we were given the opportunity to present an Kentos in the South by Southwest.
Oh, fabulous. Uh-huh.
And I have to say that hopefully we continue now into America as well. It's another dream.
A whole new world.
Indeed, brave new world.
You know, the first time I saw Mastika in a cocktail was actually at Beau Trade, which is a Korean barbecue place.
Amazing.
I know, and on Dean Street in Soho, and that was the first. I said, "Oh my goodness, here it comes, here it comes," you know, and even though it has such a particular flavor, it does blend so well with lots of other ingredients.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't overpower it. It just, you know, it's very smooth.
Which is interesting if you consider that Mastiha was traditionally used as the glue as well. They used to seal the barrels with Mastika and what we call now mastic in the street. Long time ago, it was actually Mastika salt. So it was a gluing agent. And that is also between different tastes. The glue chemically actually can match various surfaces, and similar ingredients can match various tastes.
Mm-hmm. But I do like it just in the freezer, popped it out, and straight. I think it's great. So, I think we should drink some, don't you?
Definitely.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much.
As I pour myself a glass of icy cold Mastika, I feel myself getting healthier by the moment. Thanks so much to George for educating us on this decidedly Greek beverage. Port, Portugal's most famous liquid, was also being drunk in olden times, and Taylor's was there to introduce it to the world from as early as the 17th century. Our next guest, Anna Margarita Morgado of Taylor's, fills us in on its origins and what to eat with it if you don't have any Stilton handy. Until next time, bottoms up. For more information and links to everything you've heard about, plus a bit more, please visit bestbitsworldwide.com. Thanks for listening to Best Sips Worldwide, a spin-off of Best Bits Worldwide. Always remember the wise words of Oscar Wilde: all things in moderation, including moderation, and never drink and drive. Okay, I said that last part. Theme music is by Steven Shapiro and used with permission. You'll find me at the bar